Beautiful morning to you out there, still listeners. This is Carnival Radio Enjoyment Unlimited Station. Yeah, and you are very much welcome to Carnival Radio Breakfast Show this morning. And this is Newspaper Review. I am Ibrahim Adebayo. These are the headlines in the newspaper. WAEC, National Assembly, weighs into controversy. NLC mobilizes mass procession as Ajero face police summon. Strike, federal government, ASU to resume talks, September 6. Government plans evacuation camps as flood hits 28 states. 72 illegal refineries uncovered in 1 week, says NNPC. The National Assembly yesterday waded into the controversy generated by the federal government plans to peg the age limit for students to write the West African Senior Secondary School Certificate WAEC examination at 18. It will be recalled that the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mama, announced plan on Sunday by the federal government to set the age limit for the examination to 18 years. This is even as the government decision yesterday elicited more condemnation as former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the civil society organization SCO described it as an archaic and draconic. They also asked the government to put it on hold and call a meeting of stakeholders in the education sector to deliberate on the matter. Reacting to the development yesterday, the Senate said it will subject the issue to public hearing when it comes before senators. The chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Yemi Adaramodu, said, and I quote, the Senate will consider through its relevant committee public view on any government policy brought to our legislative notice. Whatever is brought to the Senate for constitutional and statutory stamps shall be subjected to legislative crucible, which include public hearing. On his part, spokesman of the House of Representatives, Akin Rotimi, said the Green Chamber has no position on the matter yet, as members have not been briefed. However, aside from the former Vice President, others who reacted include founders of the Concerned Parent and Educators Network, CPE, Mrs. Yinka Ogunde, the National Coordinator of Education Rights Campaign, ERC, Hassan Soweto, Right Center for Human Rights and Civic Education, and Global Rights Nigeria, and among others. They were reacting to the statement by the Minister of Education on Sunday night that the government had begged the age at which candidates will sit for the examination at 18, beginning from next year. The development will also mean that such candidates will not be able to write the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME), conducted by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) for placement into higher institution until they are 18, since candidates need WAEC result to back up their admission processes. Mahmoud had earlier in the year suggested that making 18 the admission age into higher institution during a stakeholder meeting called by JAM, but not opposed by most of the participants. Condemning the government declaration, Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president of Nigeria, who was also the presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party in 2023 election, described the policy thrust as absurd and a barrier to academic freedom. Atiku aired his thoughts in a piece titled Tinubu Policy on Age Limit for Tertiary Education Admission Belong to the Stone Age. In a reaction, the founder of CPE, Mrs. Yinka Ogunde, noted that the government has not considered many things before deciding on the policy. He said, and I quote, "The federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Education, cannot be run by making arbitrary decisions. It has created dilemma and confusion all over the country. We need to start from the foundation. If stakeholders in the sector agreed that the students should be at least 18 before seeking admission to tertiary institution, among others, it is not something to be done by fear." Also reacting, Executive Director, Global Rights Nigeria, Abiodun Bayewu, called on federal government to review the policy. Bayewu said, and I quote, "I think the policy needs to be reviewed. Given the global competition Nigerian children will be confronted with, aside taking us away their right to be self-determined and right to develop, which are fundamental human rights." For more details on the news, you can visit the Vanguard newspaper. WAEC, National Assembly weighs into controversy. NLC mobilizes mass procession as Ajero faces police summon. President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajero, is said to appear at the force headquarters today in response to a police summon over allegations of criminal conspiracy, terrorism financing, treasonable veiling, subversion and cybercrime. Leader of the Industrial Union, Civil Society Ally, and some lawyers are expected to accompany Ajero. In solidarity, the NLC has instructed its state council nationwide to mobilize members for a peaceful procession to State Police Command, where prayer session will be held. The Nigerian Union of Journalists has also called on its FCT chapter to rally Abuja-based journalists in support of Ajero and NLC. Meanwhile, the Trade Union Congress in the UK has also urged the British government to prevail on the federal government to end the violence, repression and intimidation of trade union. Ogboja emphasized the peaceful nature of the protest, adding that if for any reason the president is detained, all workers nationwide shall proceed on indefinite strike. In a circular to NLC affiliates and State Council, Ogboja stated in response to the recent summon by the Nigerian police for our president, Comrade Joe Ajero, to appear for interrogation on Trump-up charges on Thursday, August 29. We call on all NLC affiliates and State Council to mobilize their members in Abuja and across the state to show solidarity. For more details on the news, you can visit the Vanguard newspaper. NLC mobilizes mass procession as Ajero faces police summon today. Federal government also resumed talks September 6th. The federal government and the Academic Staff Union of University have agreed to resume talks on September 6th to address some of the grey areas in the demand by the university teachers. Minister of Education Professor Tahir Mama said this after a closed-door meeting with the leadership of ASU led by its president, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke. ASU had issued a 21 days ultimatum to the federal government to promptly address the outstanding issues that have encumbered the development of the university system. Professor Osodeke gave the ultimatum at a news conference at Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umodike, in Abia State. But at the end of the yesterday meeting with the university teachers, the minister expressed optimism that university would not be shut down. Professor Mama told the reporter that subcommittee have been set up to look into the issue and report progress by next week. He said, and I quote, "Hopefully, we have a very good window for the resolution of the issue. So the task before us now is to work on those modalities and processes and procedure. We all agree to study the problem." Professor Osodeke expressed hope that the issue will be resolved before the next meeting on whether the union would press ahead with a strike if no agreement was reached by September 6. The ASU president said this will be decided by members. Some of the issues, according to ASU, include conclusion of renegotiation of federal government ASU agreement based on the late Nimi Bridge Committee drafted agreement in 2021, release of withheld 3 months and half salary on account of 2022 strike, release of unpaid salaries of staff on sabbatical and part-time and adjoined appointments owing to the application of the integrated payroll and personnel information system, release of outstanding third-party deduction such as check-off dues and cooperative contribution, funding revitalization of university captured in 2023 federal government budget, and earn academic allowance partly captured in 2023 federal government budget. For more details on the news, you can visit the Nation newspaper. Strike federal government ASU to resume talks September 6. Government plans evacuation camps as flood hits 28 states. According to the National Emergency Management Agency, the heavy rains and flooding that have wreaked havoc across the country in the recent time have spread 28 states, claiming 175 lives and displaying 207,902 orders. Authorities have been urged residents in the flood-prone areas to relocate as the rain persists, following the Nigerian Meteorological Agency warning that the heavy rainfall urging preparedness for potential flood. It was claimed that the state government, in partnership with NEMA, had commenced moves to evacuate residents in flood-prone areas to avert further disasters. The Director General of NEMA, Subaida Umar, further revealed that the agency had activated the National Emergency Operations Center following the recent flooding. She said, and I quote, "The 2024 flooding has affected 28 states across 133 local government areas. The flood had displaced 207,902 persons, affected 526,703 persons, affected 79,138 houses, and injured 1,971, had sustained injuries so far." She said the agency had carried out disaster assessments in almost all the states, including Ogun, Rivers, Imo, Lagos, Ekiti, Edo, Kwara, for various incidents. She highlighted that the agency had coordinated response to 158 emergency, aided 180,337 individuals, rescued 4,706, and reported 1,414 fatality. In its response, Gbajabiamila urged the agency not to focus on disaster mitigation but should prevent disaster. The Chief of Staff to the President further stated that the flooding has been observed is a perennial problem in Nigeria. When contacted and asked to provide additional details on what NEMA was doing with the state government to tackle the menace caused by the surging flood, the agency's spokesperson Ezekiel Manso said it was the primary responsibility of the state to evacuate residents in flood-prone areas, but noted that NEMA was supporting the state. Manso further pointed out that the tradition of flood was already manifesting, stressing that the agency was calling on all stakeholders to activate all plans and preparation for the flood. For more details on the news, you can visit the Punch newspaper. Government plans evacuation camps as flood hit 28 stage. 72 illegal refineries uncovered in 1 week, it says NNPC. No fewer than 72 illegal crude oil refinery sites were uncovered in the past week. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited disclosed these in a video report. The 72 refineries were reportedly discovered and destroyed in Rivers, Delta, and Abia State on August 18. Evazu was said to have been arrested by men of the Operation Data Save with 12 suspects on board in the southern Ijaw area of Bayelsa State. It's revealed that the 12 arrested suspects were in custody for further investigation. It was added that 46 Vazu automatic identification system infractions were recorded at seal, while 24 wooden boats conveying stolen crude were apprehended in Rivers State and Bayelsa State respectively. The state-owned energy firm stated that on land, several vehicles loaded with stolen crude were apprehended in Delta, Rivers, and Bayelsa State. In the past week, 33 illegal connections were uncovered in the 3 states. 8 cases of oil spill were recorded as a result of vandalism in the period under review, while 12 sites used for storing stolen crude and illegal refinery products were uncovered. A total of 42 suspects had been arrested in connection with the incident. For more details on the news, you can visit the Punch newspaper. 72 illegal refineries uncovered in 1 week, says NNPC. Before we bring the newspaper review to a close, these are the headlines. WAEC National Assembly weighs into controversy. NLC mobilizes mass procession as Ajero faces police summons. Strike. Federal government also to resume talk September 6. Government plans evacuation camps as flood hit 28 states. 72 illegal refineries uncovered in 1 week. And that ends the newspaper review on Carnival Radio. Thank you so much for listening. I am Ibrahim Adebayo. You can download the Carnival Media app from the Google Play Store and iOS App Store. Do enjoy the rest of your money. Carnival Radio Breakfast Show still continue.